Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Tri. My name is Travis, and today we're diving in to take a look at the race that happened yesterday, Clash Endurance Miami, and what a race it was. Fortunately, there was no live stream, so I thought we'd jump right in and go over all the key points of the race and show you what footage we have available. Just like yesterday, we're going to start off with the women, and boy was this a great race despite it not being the strongest depth of field, but it was still exciting up the front, and we didn't know who was going to win for the majority of the race. Clash Miami is an exciting race distance as it's quite a bit shorter than a 70.3, with a 1.1 mile swim, a 39 mile bike, and a 10 mile run. This means it doesn't necessarily favor those who do the middle distance or 70.3 races, and there's always a few short course athletes who always do pretty well here. Before the gun even went off though, it was Sarah Perez-Sala who was the hot favorite, coming in the highest ranked at 21 in the world on the PTO rankings. And the race kicked off exactly as she would have hoped and as everyone expected, with her leading out the swim. However, she didn't have as much as a gap as she probably would have liked, and what I suspected, with 5 women within a minute of her following, including Pamela Oliveira, Haley Chura, Sif Madsen, Grace Alexander, and lastly Lucy Byram, who was 53 seconds down. Now onto the bike, and I would have expected Sarah Perez-Sala to actually put more time into her competitors, but actually her lead was quickly swallowed up by Sif Madsen and Lucy Byram, and they were showing her a clean set of wheels. I wonder if it was due to some flashbacks she might have been having about last year's race where she took an epic tumble over some cones where she was thankfully okay, but it might have scarred her a little bit. By halfway on the bike, it was the 3 of them who were pushing the pace at the front, and it looked like it would come down to one of these to take the win. But Sif Madsen decided to kick on and push the pace even further and create a bit of a gap for herself to give her the best chance to take the win on the run. She managed to create that separation from Sarah Perez-Sala, but Lucy Byram managed to keep the gap down to only 20 seconds. And within 1.5 miles into the run, Lucy Byram had taken the lead from Sif, and she never looked like slowing up. Pamela Oliveira was running the fastest within the first few miles, but she was just a little too far back, over 4 minutes back from the bike, which never really gave her a chance to run her way to the front. Sarah Perez-Sala surprisingly kept falling back on the run, and by halfway she was 3 minutes down on Lucy Byram, who was now 35 seconds clear of Sif Madsen. In the end, Lucy held on extremely strong for the win, and if you guys may have remembered from one of my up-and-comers videos, Lucy was on there, and I really expected some great results from her this year. I didn't expect to see a win this early, so I'm super excited for her. Sif took a fantastic second place. She was really happy with that. She ended up finishing with a great run and was only 1 minute and 16 seconds behind. Pamela Oliveira had the fastest run of the day, finishing 2 minutes down. Sarah Perez-Sala missed out on the podium surprisingly, and I don't think she'll be too happy with that. Haley Chura, for me, had the third notable performance of the day because this definitely isn't her natural distance. It's quite short for her, and she had a fantastic run, only 6 seconds slower than Lucy. So that's it for the women's race. We're on to the men's race now, where we had a stacked lineup with lots of top 30 PTO names on the list, including Lionel Sanders, who managed to make the trip last minute, as I'm sure you guys will have all seen. And I couldn't believe that this race wasn't being live streamed. It was so unfortunate. However, thankfully the tracker on a race course like this provided constant updates, so I was glued to the screen and texting some of my other friends who were into the race about what was gonna happen and what was transpiring. Daniel Bækkegård and Sam Long were definitely the favorites coming into the race, and Sam Long was the defending champion. However, as expected, the swim went very different for each of these men, as Daniel Bækkegård came out of the water in second place in 19 minutes and 49 seconds, and Sam Long was already 2 minutes and 46 seconds back with a 22:30 swim. He was next to Lionel, however, so we really expected the two of them to work together hard on the bike to catch up, and that's exactly what they seemed to be doing, as he quickly jumped to 10th place halfway through on the bike. By halfway on the bike though, nobody was really thinking about Sam Long and Lionel Sanders, as Tom Bishop did a similar thing to what he did at Clash Daytona, and proved to everybody that he might be the best biker in triathlon right now, as he stormed away from Daniel Baekkegard, who's known to have a fierce bike, and put a minute into him within 19 miles. David McNamee was right next to Daniel Baekkegard at this stage, and then it was Jesper Svensson and Sam Appleton who were leading a chase group, including Sam Long and Lionel Sanders. But who was also in there was Jason West, who was having a fantastic bike at this point before he unfortunately dropped a chain, which made him lose about 30 to 40 seconds and just lose this chase group. But that was nothing in comparison to Lionel Sanders, who crashed out of the race on one of the technical corners and shared a video saying that he was just a little too injured to continue and he'd love to heal up for his upcoming races. By the end of the bike, I couldn't believe that it was Tom Bishop who was leading the way with a 2-minute and 12-second gap over Daniel Baekkegard, and Sam Long, who had managed to climb his way all the way into third place. David McNamee was in fourth with 2 minutes and 14 seconds back, and then the large chase pack, including Yuri Kulin, Sam Appleton, and Jason West, were over 3 minutes down. However, Jason had the tied fastest T2 transition time at just 22 seconds in comparison, for example, with Sam Appleton, who had a 37-second transition. This meant he was on a mission and he believed he could run 3 minutes and 40 seconds into Tom Bishop, who believed he'd done enough to win the race, which probably would have been the case if it was anyone else but Jason running him down, as by halfway on the run, he was averaging 4:54 per mile and had climbed his way into third place ahead of Sam Long, and it was clearly just going to come down to whether he had enough tarmac to catch up to Tom Bishop at the front. And in the end, he had more than enough and ended up finishing 36 seconds clear of him with an average pace of 4:53 per mile. Daniel Baekkegard had a fantastic run as well with a 54:02 split, the second fastest of the day, landing him at third place, 132 down. Sam Long will be probably a little disappointed, but it's an early season race, so most of these guys take this in stride, and he finished in fourth place. David McNamee finished an excellent fifth place here, 2 minutes and 13 seconds down. But for me, the day really did belong to Jason West, as he is making a name for himself. More and more, he just gets better and better, it seems, every year on the swim and the bike. He made the front pack here in the swim. His bike was going fantastic in the chase group before he dropped his chain. And then that run is unparalleled, maybe except for the Norwegians right now. So he puts himself in a really good standing for the upcoming PTO races. And it was Tom Bishop who had just too good of a bike to not land himself in second place on my notable list. He is definitely proving that he can swim bike his way to win a race if Jason West just doesn't show up. Definitely keep your eyes out for him in the future. For me, the third notable performance went to Sam Appleton, as he had a rough year last year, but now with a pretty rapid run for him and a 7th place finish, I think that's a good start for his season. Thank you guys so much for watching. What a race this was that I wish we could have seen live. I hope this clears a few things up, and I hope one day to be at the races providing in-person coverage to you from these events. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.